Hello and welcome to the start of a brand new year of the Monster Energy British Rallycross Championship. And what better place to start the season than the home of British Rallycross, Lydden Hill.
Rallycross is basically a sport which consists of very fast cars doing very cool stuff.
Rallycross is all about speed and excitement. Speed and excitement, it's an extreme sport, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds or less. So it's quicker than the Formula 1 car, and we're going from tarmac to gravel.
You do 3 laps per qualifying heat. There's 3 qualifying heats. You take your best 2 scores, qualifies you for a good position for your final.
We race on tarmac and on dirt, so it consists of a lot of different driving techniques and mental attitudes.
Not many words can describe it, but it's a great sport to get into. It's loads of different types of cars come together as a championship and compete.
So we go to the A final, and it's Tony Lynch who will start from pole position, the man who was runner-up in the championship last year. 72 car alongside him, Tristan Overden, another very competitive man. There's a bit of a twist. Normally it's the drivers doing the autographing, not the officials. Bit of an in-joke there. Just on the back of the grid there, on the left as we look at it, is Knight Coney, who won the B final. The officials say we are ready to go. Can Tony Lynch start the season with a bang and win the A final? There's going to be a lot of action in these 4 laps. It's a good even start, and it's the 21 car of Richard Norman that looks to have got the best and starts immediately, takes his Joker lap along with Knight Coney. The rest of the crew charge into the right hander. Overton getting very sideways on the loose. He's right on board with Tony Lynch. 2 victories so far in the heats. Therefore, with the least amount of points, that's how it works. Great dive to the inside. The Devil's Elbow, very, very sideways. I think there was contact. And Overton goes grass tracking a part where you normally prefer to be on the tarmac. It means that Lynch has got to do some very, very late braking to get himself back ahead of the 28 car of Chris Mullen. He's now looking to try and almost go around the outside there. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Trying to push his way through on Johnny Bean, the talented man whose son we saw, Charlie Bean, racing in the juniors just earlier on. He takes his Joker lap now. Had a couple of seconds on a fantastic initiative, including this twist to Rallycross, makes it really unpredictable up to the very, very last lap. Must take that Joker at some point during the race. Doesn't matter whether you do it in the first lap or the last lap, or somewhere in between. Lynch really working the car hard through the Devil's Elbow. Has he got a good run though? Certainly looks like Mullen has stayed with him right the way out the hill into the hairpin. Just covering the inside nicely. As you can see, this wonderfully stiff and efficient little chassis on the Suzuki Swifts, meaning that the inside wheel will pop up in the air. Norman, I think, has got down the inside of Overton as they come down into the right hander at the bottom of the hill. Very neatly done by Norman. Waiting to see what happens in the latter part of the race as all the Joker laps get played out. Just getting the car. He's a very, very tidy driver through there. Really impressive technique. And as with any form of motorsport, the smoother you can be, the more effective it tends to work. But of course, the wonderful challenge with Rallycross is this mixture of surfaces. Of course, only a little bit with this wonderful spring day here down in Kent. Very warm weather, so we don't have the mud to deal with. It's just a dusty part of the circuit. Drivers have to encounter the outside line. Very dusty indeed, as you can see there. Overton really not getting much traction, but still hanging on in there and trying the long way round. Absolutely brilliant technique. Keeps the 28 car ahead. Just driving well enough to know that Overton was never really going to be able to make that one stick. See now, this is what the Joker lap looks like for on board. Tony Lynch rejoins. You do get good drive out of that Joker lap. It's a much straighter exit down the back straight into the Devil's Elbow. Still really good drive through there. Mullen a little bit more sideways. Johnny B round the outside. Lynch just like maybe just got a little bit too much out of shape. Did Lynch that speed a bit wide? Really loaded up on the exit with the hairpin. Blue tyre smoke from Johnny Bean's car as he goes into the right-hander for the final time. But it does mean that this man, Richard Norman, is going to take the spoils. A fantastic drive to edge away from a very spectacular effort. Tony Lynch just about keeps it on the road. Brings the car home in 4th position. So this is what the results look like. Norman wins it from Jonathan Bean ahead of Chris Mullen. That's our first top 3 of the season. Tony Lynch, Christian Overton and Graham Rodemark round out the top 6.
We all been talking tactics and everything else. I didn't know what to do, just off the start, and then when I was off the start I just made the decision and I stuck to it, and then I can't come off at the end of it.
So this is what it looks like in terms of the championship positions. Richard Norman with that win leads by 3 points from Jonathan B, Chris Mullen, Tony Lynch, Christian Overton. Graham Rodemark rounds out the top 6. So we go to the final for the RX 150 buggies, and it's the man that we saw winning Heat 3 on the road. And his best accumulative 2 times is giving him pole position. That is Tom Keane, man from West Sussex, in the 50 car with a distinctive lilac piping on the roll cage. Charges into the first corner and maintains his pole position advantage. There's a little bit of contact in the background there. I think that was maybe Dolphin. Perhaps from the cloud that were getting together there, couldn't really see. It looked like Dolphin's car. To the brakes, into the left hander. Yes, it was. Mark Scott, another with a very, very good cumulative set of times from qualifying from the Heat rather. Charging to the inside. Very robust move from Terry Dolphin. Managing to maintain that advantage down the hill. Scott really has got his head down and charging away. Remember, with the buggies, no joker lap, so it doesn't mix things up in the same way that the other categories do. But these cars are exciting enough on their own. So spectacular. Such a fantastic formula to watch. All of the drivers absolutely loving racing these fantastic little machines. Just how evenly matched they are. Really down to the preparation, the setup, and of course the driver's skill of extra off-roading. Scott just on the outside of the Devil's Elbow. This is where we've seen quite a few of the cars, Pacific, McGovern, and Cloud having problems with the others. That's been dialed out now for the final. Certainly looks like in terms of the pace that Scott has got rather than. Doesn't seem to be any issues with the way the car's working through there, clattering over the car. Goes Mark Scott, really taking the car through there. Didn't really gain much from that. I think he was kind of forced into taking that slightly unusual line through there. Scott easily maintaining, having to worry about anybody else except focusing on driving a neat and tidy race the way he did. He saw just a few moments ago. Very nice indeed. And they're still had understeer though. Really prevalent from the middle to the exit of the corner. Cloud's car. This man just absolutely dominating the final. Backwards, and that's the view that he's got. This here, struggling a little bit for tracks out there as you expect from the loose stuff. Wonderful challenge rallycross in terms of driving technique. Mix your racing driver technique through tarmac corners and obviously rally driver stuff on the loose. That's usually demonstrated by arguably the greatest rally driver in the world, Sebastian Loeb. Certainly statistically, he seems to cope with both surfaces equally as well. Perhaps the technique from the lead. The key to Scott is just absolutely up the road and gone. All of the classes, this young man is the most dominant driver and a flamboyant end to his race, sideways through the right-hander at Paddock Bend at the end of the lap. What's it going to be? Fight to the line, it's contact there from behind. Dolphin gets clattered into the wall, broken the front suspension. Very dangerous position there, lucky that the driver's coming through. Didn't get caught up in that, he's going to be very, very frustrated with that. Behind from Scott, I think. Just flicked the back of Dolphin's car around. Frustrating again for Terry Dolphin. This is That's what it looks like. Tom Keating takes the spoils by 8 seconds. A massive victory over Don McLeod, Mark Scott, Larry and Adam Sargent, and then John McGovern in 6th place.
Just focused on the road ahead and kept it nice and tidy and finished the race.
It's a pretty smooth final.
Yeah, it was very good. I couldn't tell you what happened behind me, but yeah, it went very well, very well.
Could you have asked for any better, or have you peaked today, do you think?
No, I think that's the best I've ever driven, to be honest.
So a happy Tom Keating, and he's even happier because he's leading the championship by 5 points ahead of John McLeod from Mark Scott, Larry Sargent, Adam Sargent, and John McGovern in 6th place. Middle of the front row is that man Ashley Simpson, focused on the job in hand despite the distractions in front of him. The crowd are ready for this one. Are the drivers? We'll find out in just a moment. James Bird in the Clio V6, last year's champion. Look to carry on where he left off last year, but both of the Lotuses on the front row get good starts. Charging down into turn 1, it's O'Connell just behind Bird. Very, very sideways. Ashley Simpson right around the outside. Is he going to hang on to it? When he gets pushed back straight by Bird, what a spectacular bit of action across the grass they go. Charging back into the pack, and they're all falling over each other. Really, we saw we're off to take their joke black. Sweep into the left-hander. This is Ryan Lawford. We saw this man win the B final. There's some dramas in the heat, of course, with that contact with Bird. In 3 is O'Connell from Bird as they charge down the hill on the first lap. Bounces into his mirrors, Bird trying to go the long way around. Always going to be a tricky move to pull off. But he can get a cut back as they go across the start-finish line. There's a real handful through there. Working well for him though. Now Simpson immediately though on the back of them. You see Lawford take his joker lap. Down the gears in the Julian Godfrey prepared car, of course. Godfrey the champion in the Supercars. We'll see him in action later on. Bird from Simpson as they dive into the left-hander. Bit of a lock-up perhaps there. Was that perhaps rubbing bodywork? Maybe that was from that contact at the first corner that we saw with Bird and with Simpson. I think that probably was the case. Definitely causing him to have a bit of a drama on the brakes there. Huge pressure on Bird. It's allowing O'Connell to get away, of course. But bouncing all over the place down the grass. How did he hang on to that? Superb car control. Matt Simpson. God knows he's in a race here, doesn't he? Definitely going to be running all the way to the end of this 4-lap final. Simpson takes his joker hard on the brakes in the Lotus. A superb car. We know it's a fantastic racing car, but interestingly it's adapted so well as a rallycross car. Charging back down, gets good drive, and he's got momentum here. All the way down into the left-hander, down the inside of both, and Simpson making contact. Big spin. Is he going to get stuck on the grass? Then boats off into the gravel, and Lawford has lost the wheel. It's all kicking off here. Gary Dixon, I think, in the Astra into the wall, but seems to have been able to get going again. Surely this means they're going to have to stop the race with Lawford with the wheel off his wagon. He looks very, very disappointed. Yes, the red flags are out. That means that they've covered off the drivers head backwards. And let's get a chance to see work out what happened. You see Boat and Simpson, where Simpson had more momentum and just drove across the front. Boat, I don't think actually meant to make contact with Simpson. They just kind of fell over each other. Not quite sure. I don't think Lawford's damage was caused by any contact. I think it was just an unfortunate, just throws the car in and then bang, the wheel disappears. You can see the way the car's rocking. Unfortunately, no expletives from Ryan Lawford, but you wouldn't have blamed him, would you? So we go for a restart. O'Connell from Simpson from Bird. If there's going to be any more dramas going into turn 1, good start from the front 3, the 50 car, the other Lotus with Steve Cousins going through the middle. He goes off for his joker lap. There's Gary Dixon. Look at this from Bird and O'Connell side by side, going the long way round as Bird. Maybe Ash Simpson's going to get the head. He looks in his mirror to Simpson. O'Connell working hard to make sure he can keep Bird behind him. Power going up the hill from the Clio V6. Really dramatic road car, a little bit of contact. They're leaning on each other, they're front very wide. O'Connell almost loses out completely, but has somehow he's managed to still get enough momentum to get back down the inside of Ash Simpson. Simpson thought he got it done then. It's the Lotus back to 1-2. Renault immediately behind. Such a diverse rid of cars here for the Supernational. That's what makes it so popular. Two-wheel drive cars as opposed to the Supercars, of course, which are four-wheel drive. See that diversity continues through the pack. Another of the Fiestas after Lawford, of course, in that very distinctive black blue Julian Godfrey car out of the race with that problem, losing a wheel early on. Cousins now under pressure from Bird. I think it must have been as a result of the joke lap. But look at the power of the runner up the hill there. Very neat and tidy through the hairpin. Oh, very, very balanced. Looking a little bit of a front wheel up in the air, which is unusual. Distinctive and unique TT, just a bit further back of Michael Berg. Diesel-powered TT. We've seen Diesel's success for Audi in Le Mans. It translates to Rallycross. See what plays out in the last couple of laps. Simpson coming back after his joker lap. The last time that caused him all sorts of dramas when he had that contact with Boat. Car seems to have survived relatively intact. There will be a little bit of work to be done by the Simpson crew to get that car back to its pristine condition. Such an immaculate car. The guys have done a fantastic job getting the car as pristine as that for this race. This is really looking like it's going to be a Lotus domination. O'Connell just driving away. And Simpson, despite dramas early on in the first part of this race before it was stopped, seemed to get it all together. Look at the gap. He's now taking his joker lap. This is going to add at least 2 seconds to that. That's the requirement. Every circuit that we see the drivers compete on throughout the year will have this facility for this element where the drivers take the joker lap. Really does shake things up, spice things up right to the very end of the lap. Right to the end of the race, rather. And definitely for O'Connell, he seems to have managed to have got enough of a gap that even with the joker lap, still maintained a healthy advantage over Ash Simpson. Both these drivers are going to be pleased with their afternoon's work here in the sunshine at Lydden. We heard O'Connell in his interview saying it's great to have a dry track. Perhaps the Lotus not quite as easy to handle in the rain, who knows? We'll doubtlessly find out at some point during the year. But it's first blood to the Lotus. Ian O'Connell takes victory from Ash Simpson. James Bird coming home behind, and then Steve Cousins. So O'Connell wins by 2.95 seconds ahead of Simpson and Bird. Steve Cousins leading over Gary Dixon and then Michael Boat. So this is what it looks like for the championship. Then, of course, O'Connell leads by 5 points from Simpson, Bird, Steve Cousins, Gary Dixon, and then Michael Boat in the Audi TT in 6th position. Here it comes then. Ollie O'Donovan will start the Ford Focus from pole position. Once the girls there are distracting the drivers, I'm sure. But behind those dark glasses, and he's got doubtlessly completely focused on the job in hand. As I said before, around about 600 horsepower. Let's watch that 0 to 60 dash of sometimes only about 2 seconds for these cars. They really are that quick off the line, quicker than an F1 car in terms of acceleration. How's that for a statistic? Which one of them will be the quickest down into Cheshure's Drift? Will some of them disappear off and take the joker? Launch control kicks in. Fantastic performance down into turn 1 by Ollie O'Donovan immediately. You see packed around, as has been his traditional technique, to take his joker lap early on. One man that's going to regret not taking a joker lap is Julian Godfrey, who amazingly actually forgot to take a joker lap in one of the heats. He got a penalty as a result of that. Quite remarkable. Car, Steve Bundy, that self-built Focus going well. But the battle is well and truly on the front. The current champion, Julian Godfrey. And he finished runner-up to him, Andy Scott, side by side through the hairpin down Harry Hill and into Ballard Bend. So late to the break. Back up now in here. Turbos whistling, the four-wheel drive kicks in, gives a punch out of the corner down towards Cheshure's. It's such a tricky section. Godfrey goes off to take the joker lap. We won't forget to do that again. Steve Harris getting a little bit of a tap from Duran there. Not sure whose fault that one was really, whether Harris turned in or whether Duran pushed, but the end result is that Harris goes round. It's the car that Liam Duran actually used to win the X Games last year. C4, successful car, of course. European Rallycross as well. And he's got a big problem there. Understeering wide, locking up. Into Godfrey. Lachlan Scott's got him coming down the hill. Looks like he's picked up some sort of damage maybe from that contact. Godfrey there getting very, very sideways coming through, and spins the car. Has a massive, massive moment. Julian Godfrey goes all the way round. Spins up back home at Heathfield. It was that big a spin. Somehow Scott is still going despite look at the amount of Scott has clearly got some damage. He slows down, gets clattered into by Steve Hill. Well, after the puncher in the previous race, now Steve Hill has to contend with the bonnet that's come up. It's the damage on the front of the Steve Vivo X Matt Track car. Really struggling. He's having one of those days. Poor Steve Hill today. Can't get back to Aylesbury quickly enough, I would imagine. Pat Duran is there ready to pounce. I wonder if that contact with Duran maybe picked up some damage as well. Everybody seems to be struggling. The man that isn't struggling at the moment is up the road with God. Ollie O'Donovan, the Irishman, clearly having a fantastic day. He feels doing well just to be able to keep going. I wonder if the officials are going to black flag him though, because it's clearly not very conducive to safe motorsport, is it? Let's take another look back and see what's been going on now. This is from Julian Godfrey, as you can see, goes around the outside of a very... Now there's a puncher on Andy Scott's car, and that explains why he's been struggling to get the car to turn. Exactly the same problem in terms of the front left puncher that Steve Hill had early on. I wonder if that contact maybe damaged Godfrey's car at all, because it's a very uncharacteristic spin by the current champion. Gets it going again, I think. See, just saw in that shot there Scott's tyre well and truly gone. Godfrey catches it, loses it, catches it, loses it, and then around he goes. GB1 number on the side telling us that he is British champion. Look at this, Randy Scott. That's why he almost stopped, and that's what caused poor Steve Hill have no choice watching in terms of didn't expect it to happen, of course. Latted into it. I think Duran maybe has some contact as well. Okay, these guys really had any way of avoiding that. No way of avoiding this man driving away from Ollie O'Donovan has been absolutely on fire all day. Very, very quick in the heats. On pole position for the final. Right, especially since the early car down the hill. They've done a fantastic job trying to get those DS3s ready. Didn't quite get there. They will be out and racing hard. But you see those cars racing, they're going to have to go some to beat this guy. Ollie O'Donovan gets the job done somehow. It looks like the damaged car. Steve Hill is going to make it home. Front about sneaks through. The last lap gets that done, gets the position. It's all about this man. Ollie O'Donovan takes the victory. It's from Pat Duran. He's going to be pleased with that. Steve Bundy, a brilliant third for him. Andy Grant, Steve Hill, and Steve Harris, first time in the C4, rounds out sixth position. Great start indeed to the Monster Energy British Rallycross Championship in association with Mack Track. Jonathan leads Pat Duran, a delighted Steve Bundy in third, Andy Grant, and then Steve Hill, after all of his drama, still fifth in the championship. Steve Harris will be pleased with sixth at this point.
Well, that